How Russell Brunson's expert secret, the hero's journey, helped to make me a better public speaker. So Russell Brunson is one of the most popular marketeers today. He has a large following, and with his unique style of delivery and with his ability to mix psychology and sociology in his ability to combine the two of them in his speaking, he manages to create a very unique template in terms of his public discourses. Now, I was first introduced to Russell through his webinars. That was possibly a year back. And then I happened to chance upon his book, The Expert Secrets, in which he outlined this particular story or this particular template, which he calls the hero's journey. And actually, this hero's journey is something which has been used for decades by Hollywood filmmakers and big-name authors to kind of chart out a story, a plot line, which has seldom failed to kind of attract audiences and keep them hooked to the story. So let's see how this goes and how this has helped me in my quest of becoming a better public speaker. So in the hero's journey, if we divide it into, say, 6 scenes, scene number 1 would be a small town where our hero lives, and he's a person who's well loved by everybody. He has his own business, a small venture, and he does reasonably well. He's not a big businessman, but he does well enough to lead a happy life with his family. But then something changes in the environment, and our hero's business gets severely affected. It gets affected to the point of being almost on the verge of closure. So cut to scene 2. So our hero is distraught, extremely distraught, and he doesn't know what to do. And suddenly he receives a call from a friend of his, somebody who he hasn't met with in a long time. And this friend tells him about what he has done in his business so as to kind of overcome the problems that have kind of befallen the business because of the environmental issues. And he urges our hero to try this out in his own business. So our hero decides to explore this new opportunity, and he does put it into motion. And lo and behold, it actually brings about a difference. I mean, it kind of brings back the business on its feet. But at the same time, our hero realizes that things have changed. And what his business is today has also got to change with it. He has to pivot. And this new opportunity can be a short-time remedy for his current business. But if he were to explore this new opportunity in a different way, in a different category altogether, or if he was to explore this new opportunity on its own, it could be a much bigger business for him. So that's scene 2, and let's cut to scene 3. So our hero now decides to kind of explore how he can utilize this new opportunity that has come to him. He wants to scale it into a bigger business. But he also realizes that to do that, he will have to step out from the confines of his small hometown. And of course, when he expresses this idea, all his friends and relatives and acquaintances, everybody tells him not to do it because, the world outside is a big, bad world. And they advise him not to take the risk. But he's determined. He wants to. So finally, he makes up his mind and he decides to start his journey. Cut to scene 4. So our hero is now on his journey to the big bad world. And it's a long journey. From his hometown to this big bad world, the journey is rough. The terrain is absolutely a disaster. but then he perseveres on. And finally, one day he realizes, while in the midst of his journey, that there is no more path. He reaches a point where he has to take a very crucial stand. He has to make a decision. And that decision is that he could possibly turn back and, get back into the comfort of his existence in his small hometown. Or he could persevere forward. But if he does persevere forward, he doesn't know where the path will lead. So he's basically jumping into the unknown. And it is like burning all the bridges behind you. But our hero decides to take that plunge. He decides to persevere on. And finally, he reaches the big bad world of the new opportunity. Cut to scene 5. When he reaches there, a small town guy, he finds out that this is an unforgiving place. He's completely friendless. Nobody cares about him anymore. There is no kindness out here. And it's a rude shock for him. It's very different from the world where he's come from. And suddenly, he feels completely, desolate, absolutely. And to cut a long story short, it's a struggle for him. It's an uphill struggle for him. But he soldiers on. He doesn't give up. He falls, but he gets up. And finally, after a lot of struggle, a lot of effort, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, he finally makes it. So our hero is now a success story. Cut to scene number 6. Our hero, who is now a successful entrepreneur, he comes back to his hometown to a hero's welcome. So that's the hero's journey, friends. Now, when I understood this interplay between conflict and resolution and how this can be used to craft a very interesting story, a very engaging story, it kind of helped me to craft my content for the public speeches that I do or for the webinars that I hold. And it gave me the confidence that, I had a framework backing me, which, has been used extensively in Hollywood films and, in books. And this framework was the same framework which has worked well across so many years. And if I could use it effectively, I could also make it work. So, the fear that I had was now gone. I felt that I was not risking it anymore. And therefore, when I went out and spoke, I spoke with a lot of confidence. And that actually helped to kill my fear of public speaking and make me a much better speaker. So if you like this particular video, do comment below and do express it with your likes. And till we meet again in our next video, it's goodbye and good luck from me.